Okay, we're going to roll on into the pro tip of the week. All right, so we're going to talk about protecting mobile devices. 70% of internet usage is via mobile devices. And of that 70%, that means everybody's accessing it. So everything on the web is being used through smartphones. So if you go to a restaurant, you'll see it. Everybody's got their head in their smartphone, clickety, clickety, click. So that is an interesting part. Now, if you have a business, you probably have done some work on your mobile device. And that needs to be protected, because if you don't protect it, the bad guys, the evil hacker horde, will come in and get it, and they will take all your stuff. Then there's a bazillion of flavors and versions of all kinds of phones, right? It's from Android to Apple, right? Those are the main. You got your big ones. You got your Windows, the Microsoft's attempt at it, and you've got various other mobile devices out there, depending on what part of the country and world you live in. However, there's super many flavors and versions of each of these different types of phones. So they can get kind of complicated and convoluted very quickly. But here's some key points you need to consider when protecting your mobile device. And this is just basic stuff, but it's important. Again, you'll understand with security. If you do the basics, you really mitigate like 90 to 98%. Those are arbitrary numbers, obviously. I just throw out there because why not? Everybody else does. That you would mitigate that much of the threat. So first off is utilizing screen locks, pins, fingerprints, facial recognition, and so forth. Utilize a screen lock. It's important because if somebody gets it, like on an Apple, if people do it 10 times, it wipes the system. I mean, yeah, you lost your phone, but I don't want my pictures of my fuzzy kitten getting leaked to the world, all right? And maybe you do. I don't know. Maybe you're that kind of person who likes fuzzy kittens, but you never know. You may not want that. So utilize screen locks are important. People have turned them off because of the convenience of not having to deal with a pin. Again, I'm guilty of this and the fact that I hate the pins, but they're also important. They really are. So therefore, go to a thumbprint. Works a whole lot better. Okay, just saying. Mobile encryption software. Newer versions of phones are incorporating this into the device already, that it's already, your data is encrypted while it's there. But you need to have a mechanism. It doesn't do any good if that encryption is there and you don't have a pin to unlock the phone, to lock the phone. Yeah, great, it's encrypted, but it's unlocked. So what? That doesn't do you any good. But you need to consider the mobile encryption software if your device doesn't already have it. Remote wiping your phone. There are capabilities now in these new phones that allow you to log in and remotely wipe it. I know Apple has that capability, but Android in some functionality, depending on what you actually have set up on that phone, will do that as well. But if you have sensitive data on there, consider this ability. I would just do it anyway. I wouldn't even worry about if it's sensitive, because I got pictures of my kids, and I really don't want Billy Bob having pictures of my kids and my fuzzy little puppy. I've got pictures of my cute pup. So, that you never know. They could take them and do crazy stuff with that. And then the newer devices, they are gaining more of this functionality if they don't already have it. Bluetooth, here's a key point, is make sure you turn this off when you're not using it. Now, I will say I'm guilty of this. I forget that I even have it on, but it's hard, depending on the device you have. Some devices will not allow an anonymous connection to your phone. So if I want to connect my Bluetooth device to my phone, what will end up happening is it'll prompt me saying, hey, do you want this added to your phone? That's what they do. However, some phones do not do that. It'll just automatically let you connect. So you need to ask yourself, you need to really turn it off when you're going to a place, especially to a place where there's a lot of people, airports, coffee shops, so on and so forth. So you need to configure your device, your phone, to connect only to your devices. So just to keep people from accidentally or intentionally connecting to your phone. All right, so as we wrap up today, one of the big things I want to talk about, last thing is just going to go on an overview of what we've talked about. So we've talked about cyber insurance and the definition of it and some of the reasons why it's important, right? We've talked about the different types of insurance, from first party to third party, and how does that mean for you? What's covered with your policy? These are now the big three, is what is covered by your policy, and for your specific situation, the details about your premiums, and the minimum security practices that you really need to consider to make your policy work. And again, I can't stress this enough. If you don't understand it, just go get some help with it and reach out to some people that may have that level of expertise, just to kind of give you some guidance and direction. It's not a lot, right? It's not like you need somebody on retainer to help you. It's just get some direction and guidance on where to go. And the last thing was some other key considerations when dealing with exclusions and so forth that you need to keep in mind with dealing with cyber liability insurance. And then we finished up and wrapped it all up with the pro tip of the week, protecting your mobile devices. All right. So I hope